Hi, I'm Bruce Kaiser. We're here with another mission moment from Grace United Methodist Church in South Bend. My pleasure today to speak with Lexie Fisher. How you doing, Lexie?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. You've been a member of Grace. Let me first start with that. For how long now?
My entire life.
You're
24 years.
24 years.
Yes.
I'm talking to a very young person this morning, and she's talking to a not so young person this morning. We want to talk about your faith, what the church means to you, and how it kind of all comes together in what you do outside the walls of this church.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I know you're a church goer, and we're all going to be inside the walls again one of these days because we're still in COVID restriction at this taping. But tell me a little bit about what motivates you to do what you do outside these walls.
Sure. So one of the things that I was raised on the foundation of was being missional outside the walls of the church.
Okay, let me stop you there. Missional. Tell me what is missional?
So to me, missional means working with others to serve Christ however you perceive is necessary for yourself or maybe for those other people as well.
Okay, very good. Excellent. I've not really, I got to admit, missional is not one I'm real familiar with, that word.
Sure.
But anyway, this, and you're going in a great direction in life too.
Thank you.
By the way, with what you do, and you got a little bit of a family going these days too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
your little one is
6 months.
6 months old
6 months
at this
old.
time, which is fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
you have plenty to do at home, but you work outside the home as well with a great mission that you're doing. Tell us about
Sure.
that.
So I actually work full-time as a community health worker with a local healthcare system. And what that means is that when one of our doctor's offices has a patient who maybe can't have access to transportation for their doctor's appointments or access to their medications that they need, or is, especially during this time of the pandemic, is sort of struggling financially, that's when their doctor's office will send a referral over to us. We will then contact that person and sort of walk through what we call our social needs assessment and assess what their social needs are. And a lot of times through that conversation, the barriers that they are having problems with pop up, and we do our best to mitigate those barriers for them so that they do have access to things like basic health care or things that you and I would consider essential and not even give a second thought about it.
Just try to imagine if that wasn't available to people. I mean, it would be, things are kind of a mess out there for some folks anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
But without what you're talking about, I can't imagine where some people would be at this point.
Absolutely. And even pre-COVID, there were a lot of underserved communities right here in our area. And what a lot of people don't give a second thought about really is how close to home those things can be. You know, we can wake up one morning and all of a sudden you could lose everything, or you could lose something you weren't expecting to lose, and then, you know, where do I begin? So it's important to me to step in then when those types of people are down and out and something has happened to them, to sort of show them through my faith personally that I am here for them and I can be that shoulder that they can lean on to sort of bring their life back to what their center is.
I understand. St. Joseph Hospital, tell us a little bit about it.
It's a great organization to work for starters. We have a wonderful team of community health workers there, case managers, social workers, who all work together to coordinate care for any one individual. What a lot of people don't realize is that a healthcare team could consist of anywhere from 2 to 10 individuals, all working to help better the lives of one specific patient.
Is it hard finding to fill these posts like what you do?
How do you mean?
As far as finding enough people that are willing to do what you do?
Oh, absolutely not. A lot of people, community health worker is a rising career field, so a lot of people don't really know what it is that we do, and as soon as they find out, they're like, oh my gosh, like how do I get involved in that? And we've actually had no trouble filling positions or anything like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and that speaks well of the community and people as well. Have you made some friends doing this?
Oh, absolutely.
Connected in a lot of different ways.
Family. Yeah.
It seems like family after a while,
yes,
does it not?
yes.
Yeah.
We go through a lot together. We grow a lot together, and a lot of times we have to be there for each other in situations that are harder to deal with.
And I got to believe your upbringing with your family and what you've gotten out of church here and worship and all that has a lot to do with your attitude with all of this too.
Oh, absolutely. I come to the altar, so to speak, to just cry and pray and just really hope for the best for some clients, because sometimes life just really gets them down, and it's hard for me then to figure out, okay, what can I do to help you not only just overcome your fears and anxiety, but continue on to succeed in our program. And what that looks like is getting back on their feet, so to speak, and establishing themselves in ways that they weren't established before.
Okay, well, you know, some people sit around and, well, we can't get out because of COVID right now, and I'd sure love to go do this or that. Those sound like first world problems compared to some of the people that you are helping out.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Does it put things kind of in perspective when you're dialoguing and helping these people out with what they have to go through?
Absolutely, and it makes me so much more grateful to God for the blessings that I've been given. I actually grew up in a very fortunate home with a fortunate family, and I didn't have to deal with a lot of the problems and issues that our underserved communities are facing today. And I, for lack of better words, was blind to most of it because, I was just a kid growing up in a house that wasn't having these problems. So how was I supposed to know? But as I got to about 8 years old, my grandfather started me in volunteer work, and I started to see sort of how the other half lives, so to speak. And I started to see where these underserved areas in our community are and how they're affecting people.
Right.
And as I stated before, the only difference between myself and them is that I haven't had that one life-altering event to truly turn my life upside down and cause all these issues. So
I hope you never have an upside down
me also.
event too. But,
me as well.
If anybody could deal with it, I'm sure it would be you.
Well, I would definitely need a team of community health workers to do
it.
Yeah.
Well, I think this speaks well of your family, your upbringing, of you, because you soaked it all in. You soaked it all in. You're very busy, and being involved with that, with what you do, and raising a little one at home, and putting up with a husband. At least I hear that's what women do. But
no
you've got a lot on your plate, and you smile about it, and I know it makes you feel good. And
absolutely.
I think God's very happy with you.
I hope so.
I know He is, and with your family. And it's been a pleasure. Anything you'd like to add?
I love what I do. I feel like I'm called to do it, even after the really hard times where you're just kind of tearing up on the way home and really just have that one case that sits in your mind and it doesn't want to get out. That it's important to just have that release of being able to give it to God and go home to my family and not try to keep it all pent up inside.
You might say it's a little bit back and forth between you and the people you deal with, those that are having very serious problems. Maybe you're both gaining something from the interaction.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely.
So it's kind of a win-win.
Indeed it is.
Fantastic. Lexie, a pleasure to talk to you. Hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
A lot of us at church haven't seen each other in a while because of the whole COVID thing.
We haven't been face-to-face, just virtual communication.
So this is wild. I feel like I got out of prison for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, it's another mission moment, and that was a pleasure speaking with Lexie Fisher. And we appreciate you watching at home very much. Have a great day.